I'm now going to do the final page, page 3 of the review for the final exam, chapters 4 and 5, where we're graphing each equation or inequality, stating the vertex, the axis of symmetry when graphing each parabola. So I'm super pumped about this graph paper here they have. Number 29. Y is equal to negative 2x squared minus 4x plus 3. Part A says, does it open up or down? Because this value here, A, is negative, it opens down. This is my B value. This is my C value. Part B says the equation for the axis, that's the axis of symmetry. X equals the opposite of B over 2A. That's going to give me 4 over 2 times negative 2. That's going to give me x is equal to 4 divided by negative 4, which is negative 1. Part C says the vertex. Well, now what I do with that vertex is I take my axis of symmetry and plug it into my x value. So I have negative 2 times negative 1 squared minus 4 times negative 1 plus 3. Negative 1 squared is 1 times negative 2 is negative 2. Negative 4 times negative 1 is positive 4 plus 3. Negative 2 plus 4 is 2. 2 plus 3 is 5. So my vertex is negative 1, 5. Part D says, do I have a maximum or a minimum? Well, because I know my graph opens down, I'm going to have a maximum value. And that maximum value is equal to the y value, which is 5. Part E is the y-intercept. That's the C value. And that C value is 3. Now I'm going to graph everything. I know my axis of symmetry is negative 1. Make a dotted line. Okay. I know my vertex is at negative 1, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right here. I know my y-intercept's at 3. 1, 2, 3. Now I can see that from here to the axis of symmetry, I'm one space away. So my next point is going to reflect over the axis of symmetry and be one space away, right here. It's called mirroring. And I'm done now with number 29. Let's move on to number 30. 30, you're going to graph it the same way. The only thing you're going to check for is your test point. I'm going to go a little faster through it this time. Part A, we know this opens up. Why do I know this opens up? Well, because my A value is positive. My equation for the axis of symmetry, x is equal to the opposite of B over 2A. X is equal to 1. My vertex, plug 1 in. That's going to give me 1 squared minus 2, which is negative 1, minus 1, which is negative 2. So I have 1, negative 2. Again, I'm going a little faster here. Refer to number 29 if you're curious again how you get the vertex. We're just plugging that 1 into the x value of my function to get negative 2. Then the y-intercept is negative 1. I'm going to go to my graph now. I'm at 1, negative 2, so 1, negative 2. Here's my axis of symmetry. My y-intercept's at negative 1. I'm one space away from the axis of symmetry, so I'm going to reflect the other way. Here's my next point. Now I'm going to have a solid line, not a dotted, because it is a less than or equal to. And now I'm going to test my points. I'll go slower through this part. I always like to star that test point. It's a nice visual. When I test, I'm going to take 0, 0, and plug it into my function. 0 is less than or equal to 0 squared minus 2 times 0 minus 1. 0 squared minus 2 times 0 is 0, minus 1 is negative 1. Is 0 less than or equal to negative 1? Hopefully you're thinking, no, that's a false statement. My border is this red line here. I need to shade on the opposite side of the border because we said this is a false statement. So I'm shading out here. Number 31, I've already had a lot of questions on this in class. This is an intercept form, negative 2x times x minus 3. We know that this opens down because a is negative. When I multiply this out, negative 2x times x gives you a negative 2x squared. The next thing is the equation for the axis. If I would rewrite this worksheet, I actually would say find the x-intercepts first. So I'm going to take negative 2x and set it equal to 0, and x minus 3 and set it equal to 0. That gives us our x-intercepts at 0 and 3. I'm going to plot that on my graph. 0, 1, 2, 3. Next, I'm going to find my axis of symmetry. Just a reminder, to find that axis of symmetry, you can take your x-intercept plus your x-intercept and divide by 2. When I do that, I get 1.5 right here. I need to know now, what is my actual value here? So I'm going to go to the next page because I'm running out of room. I'm going to take negative 2 times 3 over 2 times 3 over 2 minus 3. Whoopsie. My calculator died, so I'm going to have to do this by hand. This right here, when I solve this, this is negative 3. Negative 3 over 2 minus 3 is the same as 6. So I'm going to say, hey, this is a negative 3 over 2 minus 6 over 2, which actually gives you negative 3 over 2. When you multiply across, that gives you a positive 9 over 2, which is 4.5. That's my y value. When I take that axis of symmetry, which is at 1.5, and I plug it into my x value of my function, I get 1.5 comma 4.5. So 1, 2, 3, 4.5 is right here. And now I can draw my u. Okay, now and finally number 32. This is the same as number 30 and 31 mixed. It's an inequality and you're approaching it just like the inequality in number 30. The only thing different is when I say approaching it, finding a test point and shading. The only thing different in number 32 is that you're graphing it like you did in number 31. I'm now done with the review. Let me know if you have any other questions in class.